Imagine sitting in a quiet room with nothing but a notebook, a pen, and maybe a cup of tea. The world outside moves quickly, full of noise and distraction, but you sit still, focused on one goal: mastering English. Many people believe you can only learn a language when surrounded by teachers, classmates, or native speakers. But what if the real secret was learning how to grow in silence when no one else is watching? That journey, the one where you study alone, can be the most powerful and personal way to transform your English. Learning alone might sound lonely at first. You picture yourself reading long textbooks, repeating words into the air, or listening to lessons without anyone to practice with. But here's the hidden truth: when you are alone, you are free. Free to make mistakes without embarrassment, free to experiment with your voice, free to build habits that match your own rhythm of life. And when you learn this way, English begins to feel less like a subject and more like a companion. Think about a child who learns to speak before going to school. That child is not corrected every second, not graded, not measured against others. The child simply listens, repeats, plays with words, and slowly becomes confident. That same principle works for you, even if you are an adult, even if you sit in a small room by yourself. You can create your own world of English, a space where the language surrounds you like music. Where each phrase becomes natural because you've lived with it daily. One of the most powerful things about studying alone is the intimacy of it. Imagine you are reading a short story in English. The characters speak, and their voices live only in your mind. Their emotions, their struggles, their triumphs, they connect directly with you. No teacher tells you what to feel. No classroom noise interrupts. In that quiet space, your imagination sharpens, and the language becomes more personal. You are not just learning English, you are living inside it. But here comes the challenge. Many learners give up because they think they lack discipline. Sitting alone can feel heavy when there is no one to cheer you on. Days pass, and your notebook stays closed. That's when you need to create something deeper than motivation, a story. You must tell yourself a story about who you are becoming. Not just I am learning English, but I am becoming the kind of person who speaks confidently, who can stand in a room full of strangers and tell a story in English with ease. When you believe that story, every page you read, every sentence you whisper to yourself, carries meaning. You are not just studying, you are stepping into your future self. Picture this. You wake up early one morning. The sun is still soft, and the world is quiet. You pour a cup of coffee and open your favorite English book. As you read, you pause and let the words roll in your mouth. Some words are heavy, some light, some sharp, some soft. You speak them aloud, testing how they feel. At that moment, you are not practicing for a test. You are having a conversation with the language itself. You are building a friendship with English, one word at a time. The beauty of learning alone is that you can follow your own curiosity. In school, a teacher tells you which story to read or which vocabulary list to memorize. But when you are alone, you can choose. Maybe today you want to listen to an American podcast about baseball. Even if you don't understand every word. Maybe tomorrow you watch a romantic movie and pause the subtitles to guess what was said. These little choices build a relationship with English that is fun and deeply personal. And when something is fun, your brain doesn't resist it, it welcomes it. Let me share a secret that many learners never discover. When you are alone, you can play roles. You can pretend you are an actor rehearsing lines. You can imagine being a teacher explaining a lesson. You can picture yourself giving a speech in front of thousands. Alone, you can transform your room into a stage where you practice English without fear. And every time you act out these roles, you bring the language closer to your real life. What feels like a game today becomes natural expression tomorrow, yet there is also another side to this. Learning alone can sometimes feel like walking through a forest without a map. You wonder if you're going in the right direction. You hear voices of doubt saying you'll never be fluent without practice partners. But here's the truth, the forest is your training ground. Every step you take alone makes you stronger. When you finally meet others to speak with, you'll realize you've already built muscles of listening, reading, and speaking. You'll surprise yourself with how much you can say. Alone is not a weakness. It is preparation. Imagine someone who decides to train for a marathon. He wakes up before dawn, runs through empty streets, and no one claps for him. Day after day, he builds his strength in silence. Then comes the marathon day, and the crowd sees him run with power and grace. They cheer, but the truth is, his victory was shaped in all those lonely mornings. That is exactly what learning English alone is like. Your room becomes your training ground. And when the moment comes, maybe an interview, maybe a trip abroad, maybe a conversation with a stranger, you will shine because of the hours you gave in solitude. As you sit with your notebook, your voice, your stories, you are creating more than language skills. You are building confidence. And confidence is not taught in classrooms. It is grown through experience, through the quiet repetition of practicing when no one is watching. That is the gift of learning alone. The gift of freedom, of patience, of resilience. And so the journey continues. You start to notice small victories. The day you understand a joke in an American sitcom without subtitles. The moment you find yourself thinking in English without translation. The instant you answer a question quickly, smoothly, and realize, I didn't plan that sentence, it just came out. These moments are proof that your solitary work is alive, growing, and transforming you, but here is the twist. The real secret of mastering English alone is not just about practicing words. It is about learning how to love the process. To enjoy the sound of new words on your tongue. To laugh at your own mistakes instead of fearing them. To feel proud when you finish a chapter or understand a song lyric. Alone, you are not in competition with anyone. You are simply walking step by step, and each step matters. Now, the question rises, if solitude is so powerful, how do you keep the fire alive? How do you make sure that each day doesn't feel heavy or lonely? That, my friend, is the path we'll uncover in the second part of this journey. Because the art of learning alone is not just about practice, it is about building a world where English feels alive, exciting, and impossible to quit. When you study English alone, the real challenge is not only what you practice but how you keep the energy alive every single day. Imagine lighting a candle in a quiet room. At first, the flame is strong, bright, almost magical. But if you do nothing, the flame flickers and eventually dies. Your motivation is just like that candle. If you want it to keep burning, you must protect it from the wind of doubt and feed it with the oxygen of inspiration. One way to do this is by transforming your home into an English environment. Think about how a child learns his or her first language. Everywhere they turn, the language surrounds them. They hear it at the dinner table, on the radio, in conversations on the street. You can create a similar world even when you're alone. You don't need to move to another country. You simply need to invite English into your daily life until it feels natural. That means your favorite songs playing in the background, your phone set to English, even little notes on the fridge with words or phrases you want to remember. When your home speaks English, you don't have to force yourself to study. the language becomes part of the air you breathe. Now, let's go deeper. Imagine sitting at your desk with a novel in English. You begin reading, but instead of rushing through pages, you slow down. You notice how the writer describes a scene, how the characters speak differently depending on their personality. You copy a few sentences in your notebook, not because a teacher told you to, but because the words feel alive, and you want them in your voice. Later, you walk around the house repeating them, as if they were your own. This simple act, imitating language you love, turns you into more than a learner. It turns you into a storyteller in English, but what about speaking? Many learners worry that without a partner, their speaking will stay weak. That is not true. Picture yourself in front of a mirror. You look into your own eyes and start talking. At first, it feels awkward, maybe even silly. But then something changes. You begin to hear your own rhythm, your own tone. You notice when your voice sounds hesitant and when it sounds confident. You adjust. Slowly, you build a voice that is not only correct but also natural. Alone, the mirror becomes your best audience, a silent friend who reflects your progress every day. Of course, doubts still creep in. You might ask yourself, am I improving, or am I just fooling myself? This is where imagination saves you. Remember when you were a child and played make-believe games? You pretended to be a superhero or a teacher or an explorer. That power of imagination is not lost. You can use it again. Pretend you are ordering coffee at a New York cafe. Pretend you are being interviewed for your dream job. Pretend you are telling a story to a group of American friends around a campfire. Speak the words aloud, even if no one hears them. What feels like pretending today becomes real tomorrow when life places you in those very situations. Listening also takes on a new form when you are alone. Instead of hearing English only in lessons, you can treat it as a constant companion. Play an American podcast while you cook dinner. Let a movie run in the background while you fold laundry. Even if you don't catch every word, your brain is working quietly, building connections, noticing patterns, becoming comfortable with the sounds of the language. Over time, you'll realize something magical. The language no longer feels foreign. It feels familiar, like a song you've heard so many times you start humming without thinking. But perhaps the most important lesson of all is patience. Mastery does not arrive overnight. Some days you'll feel like a champion, understanding everything with ease. Other days, the same words might confuse you, and frustration will whisper, "Why bother?" This is the moment when most learners quit. But if you stay, if you remind yourself that even small progress is still progress, you will succeed. Think of it like planting a tree. You water it daily, but for weeks, nothing seems to happen. Then one morning, you see a tiny green shoot pushing through the soil. That is how English grows. Slowly, invisibly, and then suddenly, beautifully. Another secret of learning alone is embracing mistakes. In classrooms, mistakes often feel like failures. But when you're alone, mistakes are gifts. They show you exactly where your next growth will happen. Imagine mispronouncing a word while reading aloud. No one laughs. No one corrects you harshly. You simply stop, smile, and try again. Each mistake becomes a stepping stone, guiding you forward instead of holding you back. In solitude, mistakes are no longer something to fear. They are your private teachers. As the months go by, you start to see changes not only in your English but in yourself. You walk with more confidence. You think with more clarity. You begin to notice that English is no longer just a skill, it is part of your identity. You can switch between your native language and English like opening a door to another room. And in that room, you feel at home. That transformation is the true reward of learning alone. It is not about passing a test or impressing others. It is about becoming someone new, someone stronger, someone freer, and then, one day, you find yourself in a real conversation. Maybe it's with a tourist asking for directions. Maybe it's during a video call with a colleague. Maybe it's with a stranger who suddenly smiles when you reply in smooth, confident English. In that moment, you realize something powerful. All those hours you spent alone were never wasted. They were building this very moment. Your voice carries strength, your words flow naturally, and your confidence shines. The world may see it as sudden, but you know the truth. It was shaped in the quiet, in the solitude, in the discipline of learning alone. So, if you ever feel lonely in your journey, remember this: solitude is not emptiness. It is the space where growth happens. It is the silence where your voice is born. It is the mirror where your confidence is built. And when you finally step into the world, English will not feel like something you studied. It will feel like something you lived. This is how you master English alone. Not through pressure, not through fear, but through love, patience, imagination, and the daily practice of turning language into life. The journey is yours. The story is yours. And every word you speak is proof that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. And with that, I leave you with this reminder. I share stories like this every day. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and when you finally step into the world, English will not feel like something you studied. It will feel like something you lived. This is how you master English alone. Not through pressure, not through fear, but through love, patience, imagination, and the daily practice of turning language into life. The journey is yours. The story is yours. And every word you speak is proof that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. And with that, I leave you with this reminder. I share stories like this every day. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one.